Well, hello all you YouTubers. Today's video is going to be about walking stick embellishment that I did. And it's, see here, it's a dragon egg with a dragon embryo still in it. It's got a big bird claw, some sort of bird, with a mystical crystal ball in the top of the claw. Also, I'm going to cover how I put a paracord handle right there in that curve. So stay with me. It's going to be step by step on how this was done. Here you see me drilling holes in the egg for 1/4 inch dowel rods for attachment to the stick. Now I drill holes in the stick to plant the dowel rods. Here I'm drilling a few shallow spots for the glue to hold to. I will apply an ample coat of CA here before placing the egg. Now I apply medium CA all around joint before proceeding to next step. Now I grind out a pocket in the claw to fit onto the egg. Here you see me removing the crystal ball from the silicone mold. Here I use heat for shaping the claw to fit the resin ball. Here you see me fit testing the entire assembly. The resin ball fits perfectly on the claw. In another video, I show how to wrap a paracord nest that supports the egg on the stick. A link to that video will be in the description and on the end screen of this video. Okay, I'm going to try to attempt to tie this paracord and film at the same time. First, I took a 38-foot piece. That's about half of a 75-foot bundle of paracord. So I cut that in half. That makes exactly 37.5 feet. So I found the center of that first. Now I'm going to take the center That's going to be my starting point, and we're going to wrap toward the top, because the top there's going to be a wrist loop. So what I want to do first is just like you're tying your shoe, and you want to tie that on the bottom. So I'm going to go over here, and I'll pull. That's half of that 37 foot, and you have to pull that all the way through. We're going to tie that just like we're tying a shoe, and you have to pull all that through. If it gets hooked on something, just unhook it. Okay, now there's just like you're tying a shoe, but you want that opposite of you, the way the cane is laying now, that's right there. It don't matter where you start, but just on the opposite, you pull that tight, and let's start right in that, right where that loop goes around. That's where your hand's going to be. Start anywhere you want. I'm going to start right there, and that's before the, just before it starts down. So I'm going to tie a knot there, and tie it tight as you can, and then you go around, loop that around again, because you're going to tie another knot just like it on the other side. So you have to pull this all the way back through, and then we'll take a look at it again. And I'm not going to show the looping all the way up because it's repetitive. Now, you see that knot in there? That's just like tying a shoe. Make sure you're still tight. This one on one side, one on the other. But that original knot's on the other side. Then you just tie that down, just like that. Just like you're tying a shoe. Now you can roll it over. If you had a straight stick, you could roll it over. But I'm going to go under there and do the same thing. I'm going to tie the same knot on the back side, which you won't be able to see right now. But if you just kind of hold one end, keep them separated, pull it all the way through. Now, I want to make sure that's tight again up here, and then you have to pull it tight on the bottom. And occasionally, after you get a few wraps, it gets a little easier to keep it tight. So I'm going up here, and I have to go under with that loop. Under here. And just got a simple, either way you want to go. So I'm taking that loop over top of that, reach under and get that one. I'm going to pull that through there. That's, get the rest of them held up out of the way. Pull it right on through. Now, when I tighten that, make sure your one on the bottom is very tight. And they're going to lay down. Now you've tied your second knot, and it grows right on up. You don't have to worry about pushing it up just yet. Just keep it up tight as you can get it. So we're going to continue that all the way to the top. So here we have this all wrapped, just like tying a shoe. One side, the other, we come all the way up. We get up here, we tie, at last, it's another knot like that, but you tie a square knot. I'm not going to teach how to tie a square knot, but you tie a square knot right there. And then, notice what I do on each end here is put a little bit of CA glue, just a touch, when I get everything in place. And I want that CA glue in a few spots around there to keep that from moving on the edge. Also in your square knot, give it a little CA glue. And also put a little CA glue around. And then after that, I shoot it with a little accelerator. Now we're solid. I'll let that in 15 seconds or so. That'll be hard dry. And this is not going to move anytime. So now what we want to do is a loop here. So we can simply come up and any length we want. I like to tie just a slip knot in here. Do that before you cut it off is pretty handy, but I like to put a slip knot on it so it can be adjusted to different arms if you want it tighter. So we'll hold it even straight up and go around here once. I don't make it too complicated. I go around here once. Remember, we're slipping right through here, so we want the knot in this loop here. So we're coming around here and going back through like this. We just pull that up, get that even, and then we can commence to tighten it down to the length we want it, and somewhere about there. Now that one side will still slip, and so once we get that tied, we leave that loose. We go around this one more time, just like that. Pull that up into a ball knot. Now once we double tie that around there, we have our slip knot in place where it will slip and adjust to any size arm. And then we want to, before we cut it off, we have to have room for that knot to go all the way down, which is, we know that's as long as it could be, so we could safely cut it off right there. And it won't slip out of there because I guess you could slip it out. But what I'm getting ready to do will keep it from slipping out. I always burn the ends. That puts a little ball on the end and keeps them from unraveling. Just kind of get them. I like to catch them on fire just a little bit. That ball puts a little ball on the end of them. Tap it down with your burner if you want to. Now, that'll keep that from slipping out. You pull it down and it's going to stop at the knot. So now you can't get a hold of it without burning your finger. But you're going to let it cool. That's a Nolan. It gets pretty hot. Now this other one is the knot. So you can burn it off even here. And I'm going to cut it off down even with where we made the knot. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing. Get this stuff out of the way. Give a little Dremel burner here. And you have to flip a switch, push a button, and you have propane. These are really handy little torches. Now I pack it down there. That you don't need that end of the string. You got have a double knot there, and that will stay there and adjust up, adjust down on any knot that you want. And anyway, makes it pretty comfortable. You can hold on to that string and pull it down as tight as you want it. Well, and here we are, ending up with another walking stick. This one I believe is going to be a good seller, and we'll take this around the wrist and any way you want to use it. But that's your hand hold, comfortable right there, and it's leaving the arm about 90 degrees. And again, it's coming up about my nose level. A shorter person, it's still okay. I want to get up close to see what I did with this claw. There's a dragon in there. There's his head coming around. And it's a dragon embryo. And there is a giant bird of some sort coming down, trying to steal the egg. That was 3D printed. And then I also resin molded a globe on top. But you can turn that and see the whole, from right here even, I can see the whole shop inside that globe as we move it around. And anyway, I like the results of it. And just one more thing before I go. I'll see you in the next video.